Good evening everybody, I'm Dr. Amber. I run a cosmetics clinic just outside of Norwich and my special interest is helping patients to achieve healthy glowing skin and helping to educate them on what treatments and skincare they can use safely so they feel they're in control and they know what they're doing. So tonight I'm going to show you just a really boring evening routine of me applying my Tretinoin. It's one of the most requested routines I get. Hopefully you'll get some tips and tricks along the way. And as always, if you've got any questions, please pop them below. Just a reminder for anyone who doesn't know what Tretinoin is, it's the prescription version of retinoic acid, available in the UK on private prescription only. Please be really careful where you get this from. This is a serious drug that you're using on your skin. Do not buy it on Vinted or eBay, as people have been telling me they found it. And also that's illegal. It's actually illegal for the person who's selling that. So I would not recommend that. You can get it through private doctors such as myself, most skin clinics, dermatologists, things like that. But remember, it is a private off-license medication, so you should always have a consultation, either over Zoom or via a form or video or whatever, but you should have a consultation before you are buying a drug like this. So first of all, I'm going to just put some lip hydration on because you can see with the weather today, so dry. So this product I'm using has been discontinued, so I'm not going to tell you what it is because that will not be helpful, but I'm hoping that they relaunch it because it's amazing. Now, I've had some spots over the last few days. I did come back from Bucharest, it was really cold, maybe my barrier was a little bit dry. I also had a beanie on and I was walking a lot, several miles every day, so I was getting quite a sweat on, so it could be a combination of the friction from the hat and a bit of sweat as well. So I'm going to go in with hypochlorous acid, which is a great way to kind of soothe the skin, heal any breakups and help to prevent infection. I love this spray. You can use it for everything. I've been using it for my new helix piercing, which is up there. Great for teenagers who have acne, especially if they're a bit lazy. I'm not saying this is a substitute for cleansing, it's not, but just great for teenagers who can't be bothered to do a proper skin routine. At least you know they've used something which is going to help with that. Great for the chest and back as well if you're sporty or you get sweaty, you're doing stuff where you're getting a sweaty back. Spotty bum, BO, smelly feet, it's amazing. All of these products, as always, are on our online shop, and once you've had a consultation you can be registered as a patient and we can then help you advise what products you should be using. Next I'm going to go in with some hydrating eyelift serum around the eyes. I do apply my Tretinoin pretty close to the eyes, but I find that if it creeps too close I definitely get peeling above my eyelids. It's not a big problem, don't panic, it's just a bit of dry skin. It's just the Tretinoin doing, its job. But putting a buffer around, I hope you can see in the light there, that's being deposited, can just help minimise that side effect of any dryness. If you get really sensitive eyes, then what I recommend to my patients is that they use something like Vaseline, Aquaphor, a bit of paraffin, something just a bit thicker. I think that's probably the end of that eyelift serum. I have had that open for many months now. It's been lasting me well. But just be mindful that if you use a really thick product like paraffin or Aquaphor, if you're prone to milia, which are those little white bumps around the eyes, this can make it worse. So you might be better off with something like a hyaluronic thin serum-like product like this as opposed to a thick, waxy, occlusive Vaseline, which could cause a bit of congestion and you're more likely to get milia. Next, I'm not going to do sandwich because I don't do sandwich with my Tretinoin, but if you're new you should use sandwich method, and that's what I recommend to most of my patients. Helps them tolerate it better and they just have a much better introduction to Tretinoin. So I'm still using my same 0.05 tube from Abaji. This is the main brand of retinoic acid that we have access to in the UK. So when patients always say to me, oh, why do you sell that one? That is the one that we have access to as doctors. It's not like we've chosen it deliberately. That is just the brand that is available in the pharmacy. You can type in Tretinoin, there's just one that comes up, that's it. So I'm going to do my forehead, and I like to do my Tretinoin, as I've said before, in kind of dots. So you should do one section at a time. Probably got a bit much there, and then I'm going to blend that all the way back into my hair because I have got quite a big forehead, and then this will cover your nose as well and all the way around down to the crow's feet. So you're covering quite a large area and you'll see that it spreads in really quickly, so you have to work fast. I'm deliberately not using my middle finger because I've still got a bit on there and I don't want to overload. And that's it. So even if you feel like you missed a couple of areas, you don't go back and reapply because that's how you end up putting too much on and you'll get dryness. So that section is done. We're now going to do the right cheek. So I'm going to just pop a little bit on there. And again, same method again, so a few tiny dots. It's a lot less than you see on the camera. I've had people saying, whoa, you're applying so much. I'm not. This is the same tube since March. So again, tiny dots, rub it in, and then you want to join up with the bits that you did before. I personally really want to smooth out my eye area. That's what I'm working on. So I'm creeping it closer and closer. Now, again, I want to prevent lip lines. So I'm going to put my lips together and then do all around my lip and those pesky smile lines at the side here, which are really annoying me lately and getting a lot worse. Then we're going to do the other cheek, same again, tiny little dots, rub in quickly, blending up and as close as you can use. If you can't use it close to your eye, then don't. And that is your face done. Don't go over it, don't apply anymore. Now normally I do all the way down to my chest, but obviously not gonna flash on social media, so we're gonna just do skin that's exposed. So it's important to do your neck and chest, especially as a female, because we're often wearing V-neck and clothing that's quite exposed, and this area gets really damaged. So you want to make sure that you creep it down, and again you want to start with the sandwich method if you're a beginner, because the neck and chest can be quite sensitive. Now, next you want to go in with your moisturiser. Lots of people say, you know, you should wait this long, wait that long. For my new patients, I do recommend they wait a little bit, again, just to make sure everything goes well. But the tretinoin now is literally absorbed. There's nothing wet on my skin, so I personally just go straight in with my moisturiser, and I've not had any issues. I'm using the vitamin B cream, the amazing pH formula cream, again, that I recommend on my page, my ride or die cream, and it's in one of those winders, and I'm just probably getting to the end of it, but you get so much more out when you use one. Yeah, loads. One of these winders. So then again, you want to moisturise really liberally, right up to all the edges. I personally just rub it everywhere, but again, you should be cautious around your eyes if you're someone who suffers from sensitivity. And that is it. If you want to, you can obviously put a bit more lip balm on, a little bit more moisturiser. The weather is pretty dry at the moment, so I'm actually going to put an extra layer of the vitamin D cream. This is now called VCR. This is our kind of barrier expert moisturiser for patients who have really dry skin. So I recommend this for patients who are very dehydrated and they need that kind of extra moisturiser. And it's quite thick, it feels really nourishing and lovely. And that is it. And you should try to put your tretinoin on as many nights as you can tolerate. You should only stop it for your cosmetic procedures as your practitioner advises you, and you should not stop it for holidays, summer, or anything like that. It is not something that should be stopped and started. So imagine if you're going to the gym, every time you stop, you're losing those benefits. So you should be continuing to use your tretinoin as regularly as you can. Remember that it's not the tretinoin that's damaging your skin, it's exposure to the sun. So if you're on holiday and you're sunbathing, then you're undoing everything your tretinoin has done anyway. So you should just continue your tretinoin on holiday, and of course practice sun safety. If you've got any tretinoin, retinoid, anything at all questions, pop them below and I'll do my best to answer.